Subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon so that you know when live we go. Dear students, RAU'S Prelims Test Series 2021 is a complete testing and revision course for the upcoming prelims examination. The program will help you prepare for UPSC prelims through a step-up approach. It is a meticulously designed study plan to organize your preparation and keep you on track towards covering the prelims GS and CSAT syllabus extensively from NCERT to the advanced level. The goal of our Prelims Test Series 2021 program is to exhaustively cover all standard sources of study material, including NCERT, with a study plan to test you at par with UPSC level of questions, thereby improving your chances of clearing the prelims examination. To give multiple revision of the entire syllabus from the perspective of civil service prelims pattern. The test series program will also give you the final revision of all topics and themes before the examination through QIP videos and prelims compass notes. The QIP videos or Quality Improvement Program videos are for speedy revision of all important topics for the upcoming prelims examination. QIP videos are kind of crash course for the prelims examination. And prelims compass are 8 subject-wise prelims compilation of all static and current affair topics important for the upcoming prelims. RAU'S Prelims Test Series 2021 will include topics test, testing the concept of candidate. It will include thematic test on both the concept and the current affair of that particular theme. It will also include current affair tests covering the monthly current affairs. And there will be full-length test before the final exam to simulate you for the D-Day. There is a link in the description of this video. You can click on the link for registration and to also check out the demo QIP videos. Hello and welcome to today's DNS session. We are going to take up discussion on today's newspaper, The Hindu, Delhi edition dated February 17, 2021. We shall take up articles important for civil service examination and discuss them as per the demand of the exam. The articles that we are going to take up for discussion have been tabulated in front of you, and the time stamping for the same has been given in the description section. This is one of the lead articles from page number 8, looking ahead after Ladakh walk back. India and China has decided for disengagement and creating a buffer zone in and around Pangong Lake, on the northern bank of Pangong Lake and around the Kailash range in the southern bank. In no way it is to be understood that LAC, the line of actual control, is being redrawn. This is simply disengagement. India's claim to Indian territory has not been changed. The disengagement dialogue that has been going on for a while has resulted some fruit, and disengagement has begun from Pangong Lake. But no such disengagement agreement has been agreed upon in other areas of conflict, like Galwan Valley, like Depsang Plain. But they perhaps will follow after the successful disengagement around Pangong Lake. Let's take this opportunity to understand the area of conflict along the LAC between India and China. This is the Pangong Lake. Disengagement process has begun on the northern and southern bank of Pangong Lake. Let's zoom a little. This is the border between India and China, and 1/3 of the lake is on Indian side, 2/3 on the Chinese side. It's a very strategic lake because although the water of the lake is salty, so there is no fight over the water of the lake as such. But using the waterways through the lake, Chinese can easily intrude into the Indian side. Let's switch to the satellite mode in order to better visualize the terrain around the lake. On the northern bank of the lake, as you can see, there are many ridges, and they are called as fingers. For the administrative convenience, the ridges have been numbered from 1 to 8. Beginning from almost the horizontal position, finger 1, finger 2, finger 3, finger 4, finger 5, 6, 7 and 8. From finger 1 to 4, traditionally this area has been administered by India, and Chinese do patrolling from 5 to 6. If I bring you back to the normal mode, you will see that this is the actual border between India and China. But line of actual control actually passes somewhere towards the east of the actual border. India has territorial claim on all the 8 fingers, but temporarily to ease the tension, it has been decided that India will be patrolling from 1 to 4 and Chinese from 5 to 8. But this is not giving up on our territorial claim from 5 to 8. Similarly, you can see on the southern side, you will find ridges very close to LAC. Temporarily, these ridges will be made as buffer zone. If I zoom a little more, you will find Chushul. This region is Chushul Valley, and it is just few miles west of LAC. So, disengagement process has begun from the northern and southern bank of Pangong Lake, but there are other areas of conflict. Close to Chang Chemno Kangri post, there's a post of India here, and this region is the hot spring region. Since it's being very close to LAC, this is also an area of conflict. Then as you move northwest from here, you will find Galwan Valley. Galwan Valley is the point where Galwan River meets the Shayok River, and that exactly is this point. This is the point where the Galwan River is meeting the Shayok River, and this region is Galwan Valley. But no agreement has been agreed upon for disengagement in this region. There is a point, patrolling point 14, PP14, where the deadly clash between Indian and Chinese army happened. It is also very interesting to observe the course that Shayok River takes. If you see on this arm of the river, it is moving northwest. When it reaches near the Pangong Lake, it takes a turn, as you can see in the map. Before that, it was actually moving southeast. And this is the point where Nubra River meets Shayok River. This region in green here, this is Nubra Valley. So if you see the course of Shayok River, it was moving southeast. On approaching the Pangong Lake, it takes a turn and starts moving northwest. Interestingly, Nubra River actually originates from Siachen Glacier. If I keep zooming a little, you will see the origin of Nubra River. Nubra River originates from this region. Let's switch to the satellite mode. This is the origin of Nubra River, and this is Siachen Glacier. If I zoom out, you will see that Siachen Glacier is very nearby to this another plain. As you can see in brown, this plain is Deep Sang Plain. Siachen Glacier has been bone of contention between India and Pakistan. Deep Sang Plain recently has been area of intense conflict between India and China. The fear is, if India got engaged with China along the Deep Sang Plain and Pakistan started creating problem along the Siachen Glacier, India will be forced to have two-front war. The Siachen Glacier is on the west of Deep Sang Plain. Very near to Siachen Glacier, you will find Saltoro Ridge. Siachen Glacier is somewhere in mid between the Saltoro Ridge and Mount K2. And from the Siachen Glacier is flowing the Nubra River. Nubra River comes and meets River Shayok. And here there is Nubra Valley. So Nubra Valley would be towards the southeast of Siachen Glacier. Additionally, if I show you again, Nubra Valley would be along the northwest of Pangong Lake. And Nubra Valley here would be towards the west of Galwan Valley here. Galwan Valley is at the intersection of Galwan River, which is flowing towards west and meets Shayok River here. If I zoom a little more, you will find a road along the bank of Shayok River. This is a very important infrastructure of India. This road goes all the way up till Daulat Beg Oldie. You can see a yellow strip here. This is a newly constructed Daulat Beg Oldie road. There's a checkpost of India very near to Karakoram range. Let me zoom and show you the Karakoram range. The pass that you can see here between the two mountain range, this is Karakoram Pass. This is a very strategic location in India's northern border. And the road is coming all the way till the Karakoram Pass. The road has been constructed in the region, as you can see, very near to Deepsang Plain. This is the plain region. This is the only region along LAC where tanks can be used. This was also a battleground between India and China in the War of 1962. Chinese have been wanting to keep Deepsang Plain out of the equation while negotiating an agreement for disengagement. The claim is, since the conflict in the Deepsang Plain started later, so let's keep it separate from the conflict in other regions like Pangong Lake. But as you can see, Deepsang Plain comes very close to Siachen Glacier. This is the region where LAC and LOC are meeting up. So taking control of this region is extremely important for India. And we just hope that after the successful dialogue negotiation of disengagement along Pangong Lake, it will only be extended towards Galwan Valley, Hot Spring region and the Deepsang Plain. Now let's attempt discussion from Prelims 2020. Siachen Glacier is situated to the east of Askaichen. Askaichen is this region of India that has been occupied illegally by China during the War of 1962. Siachen Glacier is here and it has a line of sight from the Deepsang Plain here. So this obviously is wrong. East of Leh is also incorrect. Siachen Glacier here, Leh is this region, would be north of Leh or northwest of Leh. North of Gilgit is also incorrect. Gilgit-Baltistan is this region. And in no way Siachen Glacier is north of Gilgit. So the answer has to be option D, north of Nubra Valley. As seen already, here you have Nubra Valley. This is Nubra Valley and here is the Siachen Glacier. Not exactly north, it is northwest. But that is the most appropriate option. So you'll have to go with that. There is a news article on page number 10. Frayed tempers, confusion reigns at toll plaza. The news is related with the use of FAStag. FAStag is a program initiated by National Highway Authority of India to automate the collection of tolls at toll plazas. And in January 2020, it was made mandatory for all four-wheelers to have the FAStag plate on the vehicle. But even after that, cash were allowed at toll plazas and one lane was kept for cash. But now the government and National Highway Authority of India has tightened the noose. And vehicles not having the FAStag plate, they have to pay double the amount in cash. That's why the anger, and when there is anger, there is confusion. In order to understand and appreciate why a tough stand is being taken by Government of India and National Highway Authority of India vis-a-vis the use of FAStag, let's look at some data. In the last decade, India's road network has grown only by a third, 33%. But vehicle registrations have increased almost 3 times, 300%. So because of this mismatch of the growth of the vehicle registration and the road length, there will obviously be increased vehicle density, which will cause congestion. Vehicle congestion on roads is not good for economy, it's not good for environment, it's not good for society. The transportation sector is the lifeblood of any economy. The road in the transportation sector is the artery. The road sector in India carries around 65% of freight and 80% of passenger. And within the road sector, the national highways carry 40% of road traffic, even though it's only 2% of the total road length. So making the use of FAStag compulsory on national highway, which has been done so far, makes sense. And gradually it must also be increased to state highways. Presently, the wait on toll plazas on national highways is very high. It is around 7 to 9 minutes. It is very, very high. It should not be more than 3 minutes. The logistic cost in the economy is very high at 14%. To overcome these problems and make our road sector very efficient, implementation of FAStag is necessary. FAStag, the electronic toll collection program by National Highway Authority of India, uses radio frequency identification technology. Radio frequency identification technology, although not a new one, is an important thing for the exam. In 2015, UPSC asked a question about near field communication technology. which is an advancement of radio frequency identification technology. It can be considered as a subset of RFID technology. RFID can be used for long distances, even up till few kilometers. So the range from which RFID technology can collect data is very high, and many a times that is not desirable. So to restrict the range of data collection, near field communication technology were developed with more encryption, and it has a maximum range of only 20 centimeter. In the second statement of the question, the range was given as a meter, which was incorrect. And the first statement was correct because it uses radio waves, just like Wi-Fi, just like Bluetooth, just like radio frequency identification technology. Coming back to FAStags, it uses RFID technology. Very simplistically, RFID technology has a reader. The reader has an antenna, the antenna sends the signal. The first thing you must know about FAStags and RFID technology is it is not a line of sight technology. The signal sent by the reader of RFID is spherical. It sends signals all over the space. When the signal reaches a tag is kind of a plate attached to any object. It gets activated. It gets energized, and that energy comes from the signal emitted by the reader. The tag will have certain information encoded in it. The reader will read it and accordingly can also change it. On a very basic fundamental level, you can understand it how your metro card works. You punch at the metro station, it reads your balance, and then at the next metro station at the exit, it reads from where you have entered, and accordingly it deducts the amount from the card. Similarly, when a FAStag plate is on the vehicle, the reader at the toll plaza will read it. It will collect certain information regarding the vehicle number, the vehicle type, etc. etc. It will deduct certain amount, and accordingly information will be re-encoded on the FAStag plate. Just like you have to recharge your metro card, similarly you have to recharge your FAStag plate as well. Every FAStag plate is connected with a wallet. You can also directly connect the FAStag plate with your bank account. There are two very important things that you must remember about RFID technology. Number one, as it's there in the name, radio frequency identification, that means it uses radio waves. And because it uses low frequency radio wave, it can communicate through large distance. So even before the vehicle has reached the toll plaza, it is 1 kilometer behind, the toll collection process can begin. The identification of vehicle can begin. And secondly, you must know it is not a line of sight technology, which barcode is. You must have seen barcode readers. It requires line of sight to identify the object. RFID does not require line of sight. It sends the waves all over the space. Initially, it was used by companies to identify objects in their inventories. It's an old technology of 1980s, and it can be used actually to identify anything, whether books or cars or clothes, anything. In FAStag, apart from using RFID technology, meaning identification based on RFID technology of cars, additionally, these FAStag's plates are connected with bank account and wallet. So that deduction of toll is automatic. And for that purpose, a financial government institution must come into picture, which is NPCI, National Payment Corporation of India. The benefits of using FAStag is wide and deep. First of all, immediately it will decrease the wait time at toll plaza, will make our road networks more efficient, decrease the logistic cost, decrease the fuel cost. When the wait time at tolls are higher, the vehicles are on standby and many times the engines will still be on. That will increase the fuel cost, that will increase air pollution. FAStag will enable digital transaction for toll collection, and all the benefits of digital transaction will be given by FAStags. Number one, reduce use of paper. That will help environment. There will be more transparency in the toll collection, and FAStag will also enhance data collection. Data collection regarding many things. Number one, the tax collection. Number two, the movement of vehicles. The movement of vehicles, data on that will help in various ways. It will help tracking the vehicles in unfortunate events like robbery and kidnapping. It will generate general information regarding vehicles, the type of vehicles and the road density. And it will also help in the general GST administration. Since it's a destination-based taxation system, The data from the FAStag can become a secondary source of verification whether vehicular movement of product actually happened from source to destination or not. And when there is no tax collection at the toll booth, you do not require the manpower and the hassle and the risk of transferring the cash from the toll booth to banks or other place. For the passengers, for the road users, the ease of payment will increase, the wait time will decrease. Digital transaction is also expected to increase the total amount of tax collection. Because you cannot go away by showing your ID. Your vehicle have to have a FAStag plate. And then the deduction will be automatic. When the tax collection will improve, then the overall rate of taxes will reduce. Apart from that, there are some suggested futuristic use of FAStag. Like we were talking about the use of FAStag in GST administration, particularly integrating it with e-way bill system. The data collected from the toll plaza using the FAStag system will help the revenue authorities to check whether the good vehicles were actually headed to the specified destination. FAStags can not only decrease the traffic, the wait time at toll plazas, it can do the same at petrol pumps as well. The payment for the fuel at the petrol pump can become automatic just like the toll collection. And even the parking charges, that can also be automated. In fact, some of the oil marketing companies like Indian Oil Corporation, BPCL, HPCL, they have signed MOUs with National Highway Authority of India to make use of FAStag to purchase petrol at petrol pumps. Now, since the government and NHAI is serious about implementation of FAStag, making it mandatory for four-wheelers on national highways presently, the opportunity must be used to develop a clear, stable strategy on road pricing. Because now the revenue collection will be more predictable based upon the vehicle registration data. And the efficient revenue collection must ultimately be used to improve public road transport system. This is the lead article from page number 8 in Tele-health, Scaling Up the Indian Advantage. See, the article highlights that during COVID-19 pandemic, overwhelmingly, most of the resource, human resource, financial resource, infrastructure, everything gets diverted towards management of the pandemic. And the same happened during COVID-19 pandemic. But when that happens, other areas of health sector gets affected. The article gives data from WHO survey that was conducted in July 2020. It is inferred from that data that essential services in the health sector gets disrupted in majority of the countries. Services like immunization, services like antenatal healthcare, clinical visits of pregnant ladies, diabetic patients, and so hence and so forth. And such disruption is more severe in low-income countries because of crunch of resource. This survey of WHO says that 45% of low-income countries incurred at least partial disruption of 75% of services. The number was only 4% in high-income countries. The other areas of health sector was also severely affected in India. For instance, the detection of tuberculosis cases dropped by 50% in April to December 2020 compared to the same period previous year. The antenatal care visits dropped by 56% in first half of 2020 compared to the same period of previous year. The routine checkup, tests, clinical visits in certain diseases like diabetes is very important. All of that got disrupted, putting the patient at the risk of hospitalization and then further increasing the chances of infection. The problem turns out to be much more worse if we take into account the urban-rural divide. Because of inequality, because of digital divide, because of lack of human resources, financial resources, infrastructure in health sector in rural region, because of disruption of transportation services and people from rural region found it difficult to come to cities for specialist care. Rural region got much more affected. But as I said, every disaster is also an opportunity. COVID-19 pandemic has taught us a lot. It brought many ideas to the front, giving us opportunity to implement them, try them out. One of the ideas that has come naturally to the front as a result of COVID-19 pandemic highlighted in the article is shared medical appointments. This has been quite popular in the United States with respect to certain diseases. Under this arrangement, patients who are screened for similar medical complaint, they are given appointment for the specialist, clinician or even generalist all together. What would happen then is, first of all, patients will get more time with the clinician or the specialist. Of course, that will not be private. The discussion will happen rather publicly. But however, the output of that could be very fruitful. Patients can have peer-to-peer learning from each other's experience, and there would also be some kind of solidarity, some kind of peer support. In the United States, this has been tried out with respect to diabetes, and the outcome has been observed to be very productive. Similarly, for sugar patients, this kind of arrangement can be tested in India. In Puducherry, Arvind Eye Hospital has been successfully testing shared medical appointments for the patients of glaucoma. Glaucoma is eye-related disease resulting in irreversible blindness. But however, the progression of glaucoma can be slowed down through regular follow-up and taking prescribed medication. Arvind Eye Hospital's experience with shared medical appointments for glaucoma has been very positive. It has been observed that the patients encourage one another to ask more questions, and the learning of every individual is higher that way. So far, we have understood that shared medical appointments can solve many problems. One is the problem of ratio of doctors to patient. Many patients can be dealt with one specialist altogether. The productivity of such interaction, medical treatment, can also be very high. The idea becomes more relevant during the present time of COVID-19 pandemic when social distancing is required. These shared medical appointments can be done online. The disruption of public transportation will not matter. The risk of a spread of infection will also not be there. Additionally, these days you must also be hearing and learning the phrase vaccine hesitation, which is rooted in misinformation. When there is direct communication of a specialist with group of patients, that can also be taken as an opportunity to remove the misinformation regarding vaccines or medicines. And that direct interaction will be more persuasive, will have a greater impact. Obviously, this will not work for each and every diseases. Certain diseases may require highly specialized treatment. But for diseases that require general guidelines, like for diabetes, like for glaucoma, or other lifestyle related diseases like obesity. In these cases, surely many patients can be dealt together. But for shared medical appointment to be successful, the telemedicine infrastructure has to be built first. And in this regard, the author is suggesting that there is an Indian advantage. What is the advantage? Number one, data plans in India are really cheap. People from all socio-economic groups, all of us are familiar with group video chats. So shared medical appointments where there will be requirement of group video chat will not be a problem. All of us are handy in that. Basic infrastructure online platform for telemedicine is already up and running. E-Sanjeevani platform is the platform for telemedicine that was launched during the time of COVID-19. And it offers both provider to patient interaction and provider to provider interaction, doctor to doctor and doctor to patient. The E-Sanjeevani platform is being implemented by the Health and Wellness Center being constructed under Ayushman Bharat mission. But however, we have to ensure that the BharatNet, this very important project for connecting all the Gram Panchayats with high-speed internet connectivity is completed on time. This was initiated back in 2011 and deadline after deadline is being given for this. Was to be completed in 2017, then 19, then 20, and now the new deadline is August 2021. We also need to improve the parity, the urban-rural divide regarding internet connectivity. In the Inclusive Internet Index, which is compiled by Economist Intelligence Unit, in the ranking of 2020, India stands 46th out of 100 countries. We surely need to make improvement here. Slowly and steadily, internet is reaching to every nook and corner of nation. Telemedicine would be the reality in the coming future. And with the limitation of limited resource that developing country always has, we must look for innovative solutions like shared medical appointments.
There is an article on page number 8, the viability of two proposals. Proposal number 1 is regarding having multiple capitals. Recently, in an election rally, the Chief Minister of West Bengal has proposed to have 4 capitals. Because having 4 capital, there would be 8 secretariats, 4 each for both the houses. And then there would be 4 times over arrangement for staffing, accommodation of MPs and other arrangements. That kind of possibility of having 4 capital is not possible. But however, you have to be aware that internationally there is practice of having multiple capitals, but with no overlapping. For instance, Amsterdam is the capital of Netherlands, but most of the administrative work is carried out from The Hague. The executive functions from The Hague. Similarly, in South Africa, Pretoria is the administrative and executive capital, but the parliament is in Cape Town, and the judiciary works from Bloemfontein. Similarly, national legislature, the parliament in Sri Lanka, is seated at Sri Jayawardhanepura, Kotte, but the executive and judicial bodies, they work from Colombo. Similarly, the official capital, the de jure capital of Malaysia is Kuala Lumpur. Parliament is in Kuala Lumpur, but the executive and judiciary, they work from Putrajaya. So different organs of the government can be distributed, but multiplication of governance at 4 places, that is not possible or advisable. You must be aware that there were talks going on to have multiple capital for the state of Andhra Pradesh. When you have multiple capitals, you do not have to have a large swathe of land. You don't encroach on the riverbeds. You do not carry out excessive deforestation. There is not undue pressure on water resource, and urbanization in and around the capital can be carried out in a sustainable manner. Lage Haath, the author, also talks about having multiple division of Supreme Court all over the country. See, Supreme Court cannot be replicated. Just like Parliament, we cannot have 4 Supreme Courts, but we can have legal division of Supreme Courts at multiple places. In this regard, you must know that the 10th Law Commission of India recommended that Supreme Court of India be divided into 2 divisions. One would be the constitutional division that will deal with the constitutional questions. For instance, the question on right to life, Article 21, its expansion interpretation. Question on citizenship, questions related to sedition, or matters related to bail, the rights of prisoners, and things like that. And the other division of the Supreme Court could be the legal division that will act as a court of appeal, the final court of appeal, dealing with day-to-day cases. The same recommendation was reiterated by 11th Law Commission, asking the Supreme Court to be divided into Constitutional Court and the Court of Appeal. The Commission also recommended that the Court of Appeal must sit in North, South, East, West, and Central India, and it can be constituted under Article 130. Article 130 deals with the seat of Supreme Court. It says that the Supreme Court shall sit in Delhi or in such other place or places as the Chief Justice of India may, with the approval of President, from time to time appoint. But so far, this provision of Article 30 has not been used. Then again, the 18th Law Commission has reiterated the recommendation of 10th and 11th Law Commission.
We have come to the end of the session now. Answer to yesterday's question of the day and today's question of the day is there on your screen. Please attempt the question, comment your answer in the comment section, and do attempt the DNS quiz on our ELEARN platform. Thank you very much. Goodbye. Take care.